we did a birthday trip. It was last September for a group that went to Costa Rica. And they had an amazing time through our travel agency. They got on the plane and she told me that she turned to the person beside her, which she didn't know, and she said, "How was your time in Costa Rica?" And the lady said, "I hated it. I'm never coming back. The hotel was bad, the food was bad." She went, and my client was just like, "What do you mean? This has been the best time ever."
You're listening to Ticket to Anywhere, an award-winning travel essential podcast hosted by Leah and Trizzy, two Asian American women with 23 years of combined travel experience.
We are your first stop to infinite travel, giving you the gear, tools, and tips for a more travel-filled life.
Welcome back to another episode of the Ticket to Anywhere podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Trizzy at Triz Inc.
And I'm Leah, LA in Flight, and we have such a fun episode today with Lisa Service of I Can't Wait to Travel, and I think we all feel like that. I can't wait to travel.
And it's perfect name, and she got us excited. Even you said you might stay put, but then at the end of the episode, you're like, I want to go somewhere.
I have to manifest. I have to put out there that I cannot travel after June. Y'all, at time of recording, it's mid-Feb. And I'm trying to buy a car. I'm trying to buy a car by January. I'm putting it out there so every single one of you listening
by January
of next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, obviously that's the next January. Trizzy, you can hold me accountable too.
Yeah,
I'm trying to buy a car then, and I have a ton of travel booked this spring. That's always how it happens. And
can you buy a car with points?
Right? Why don't you try to do that? Maybe they can swipe my Costco card while they're at it. Will you accept this as payment? My Costco card?
I have a lot of credit on here.
Can you buy a car with points? I wish we could decide how to use I have 1 billion airline points spread across 5 different airlines.
That's okay. That's okay. Because Lisa and I Can't Wait to Travel will hook you up with great deals.
That's
my
true.
gosh, she mentioned that she got some hookups with last minute deals, y'all. So
and whatnot. Yeah. So Lisa, has her own travel agency, a team of 15, as you'll hear in the podcast. And she herself specializes in Latin America and the Caribbean, which is fantastic. I love Latin America. Trizzy loves the Caribbean. But, she has a team of travel experts who will help you find whatever your heart desires around the world. And she started her agency in July 2020. Think about that date, y'all.
And she's so brave, and you could hear how she talks. It's just going to inspire you and encourage you to just be authentic in your travels and just have fun with it. And she helps put whatever you want for your next travel together. If you want to relax, if you want to go and try some wine, if you want to stay at a bougie hotel or a mid-lux hotel, she got you.
And so travel experts, and she gives us some of her best tips on how to best spend your money when you're traveling, and some of the hot Caribbean islands that you definitely want to know about. You know, it's not all, I don't know, what's the most popular. It's not all, what's popular out there? Jamaica. Bahamas. It's not all Bahamas. Sorry, Trizzy, I know you're heading there.
I gotta go back to Bahamas.
There's a lot of up and coming places there that have maybe been under the radar that you're gonna want to check out, and Lisa's team can help you with that. She also started we didn't get to talk about it too much, but we've linked all the channels where you can find her and her agency on how to travel with your dog that helps you travel with your doggy. I know. So cute. Could you imagine Lulu? For people that don't know, my family has a Beagle Basset Hound. Her name's Lucy.
She's adorable.
She would hate it, actually, but we would drag her. We'll drag her. She would be overstimulated.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh man, too bad we didn't get a chance to talk about that. But there was a lot of stuff that we talked about, but there was more that I really wanted to just like ask her about, because if you look at her Instagram, she saw Michael B. Jordan in Italy, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's Zaddy.
Wait, how
I
come
know.
we didn't? How come you didn't bring this up?
Because I was just so caught up in the moment, and then I just realized, like, oh my gosh, I wanted to ask her about that.
Now I'm about to head to Instagram and be like, where?
Yeah, you'll see it. You'll see Zaddy. That's right. But she travels,
Oh.
she drinks coffee and tea, just like everybody else, like us. Leah,
Like
what is
us.
your
Like we're
coffee?
doing every episode,
Yes,
right?
right. What is your coffee of the episode?
I am obsessed with them because they're a Filipino coffee shop, Veraco, out in Palm Springs. Filipino coffee shop, and used not a French press, an AeroPress to make the coffee, and then a little bit of Sprouts brand brown sugar oat milk creamer. I know that's a mouthful, and I know I say that like every episode. The important part to know is that I'm drinking coffee from a Filipino-owned coffee company.
That's right. And then the tea of the episode for me is the tea that Leah got me from Bali. It's the herbal rosella tea. We are filming this in the evening, so I was trying to stay away from black and green tea. So herbal tea it is.
How is it, by the way? Oh my gosh,
it's
I'm
really,
so
really tart.
Oh,
but
is it?
It's good tart, because what I found out about rosella tea is that it is they have magnesium in it, which is an anti-inflammatory,
and so it puts you to bed,
and it puts me to sleep. That's right. And it has like a lot of healing properties to it. So
I went straight to the Bali, the Indonesian gods, and said, make me a tea. I said, make me a tea that I could bring home to my co-hustlers so she can train for marathons and sleep easy.
So she doesn't be sore the next day.
Yeah, that's what I said. I went on top of Mount Java or wherever. It's a different island. I went to Nusa Penida and stood at the top and said, make me a tea for Trizzy.
And so here it is, y'all.
Oh, well, we're having a lot of fun, so we hope you enjoy this fun episode with Lisa of I Can't Wait to Travel.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So my name is Lisa Service. I am a travel agent, travel agency owner. I'm a wife. I'm a dog mom. I live in Florida, and I absolutely love to eat and to travel. Culture is everything to me, especially because my parents are Jamaican. So I think that we started young, just exploring other islands, other locations, and I've always just loved learning about people. And I am a tea drinker.
Yeah.
Trizzy's on my side.
Trizzy's right. Tea. Yeah, for sure.
Yes. How do you drink your tea, Trizzy?
I have it several ways. So sometimes I'll add milk and a little bit of agave, like some type of sweetener, or I'll just have it straight up. Just loose leaf tea bags, whatever, even matcha. I whisk my own matcha, and it's like a great, like, mindful routine that I have in the morning with tea. So I give it that.
Yeah, we'll change the world. No more wine tours. We're gonna do coffee and tea tours.
Coffee and tea tours.
Yes, that's right. That's right. You do a lot of group trips on your travel agency. I Can't Wait to Travel. So is this something that you're starting up with the coffee and tea tours?
You never know. We always find like little niches that people love to do. I think wine is going to be a bigger seller for right now, but you never know. But we just love doing group tours. It's just fun to travel with other people. So,
are you hosting yourself, or do you have like people locally that is the tour guide and stuff?
That's a great question. So actually how our company really took off is I love love. So I love like the Love is Blind, Married at First Sight, all those reality shows. And I was watching Married at First Sight, and there was a couple that was just so, like, their love was so beautiful. And we were in the middle of COVID, and I reached out to them. I said, hey, would you like to do a trip I'm just starting our company. Would you like to do a trip? And we could have like your followers and all your fans come out and travel with you. And they were like, that sounds like fun, a free trip. And we get to hang out with our followers. And that really got our name out there because all of their lifetime fans and other people who are on social media, they're like, okay, this online company is truly legit. And they started to come on, and we had a huge like Fourth of July right after everyone was released from COVID. We had this huge group trip, and we've repeated it. We've done other lifetime influencers. We've worked with
Wow.
podcasters. You ladies might want to do a trip with your followers. You
That
never
would be
Yeah.
so fun.
know.
Wow,
Yeah.
Leah, we're in the same category as like all the celebrities and
Oh, I
influencers.
know. I love like, oh,
We might
okay.
have to get extra security for you two.
Oh, stop it, Lisa, stop it.
That is so cool that that's how you came to be. It seems very organic and natural that
Yeah.
it started that way. I'm curious, how did when I was reading your bio and just looking through I can't wait to travel. I mean, you must love planning for others, because what inspired you to start an agency versus maybe say going into content creation or starting a podcast about travel or any other way to spread the travel love? Was it like the love of like planning? Actually, I read that you have event planning, wedding coordination experience as well.
Well, through the travel business, yes. So in 2015, as I said, I love to eat. I love so I love to travel. So I was just doing a blog. Um,
Mhm.
Due to my technical schooling, what I went to school for, I was working in pediatrics. I had my own patients, nothing to do with
Wow.
travel at all. And I just wrote this blog. It was like my creative outlet on all the restaurants I went to, the hotels I stayed at, the countries I visited, and people just were reading it. They were looking at the pictures, and we took our parents. My husband and I took our parents to a trip to Jamaica, and I met this lady. Her name is Mandy, and she saw my blog, and she's like, "Why aren't you like creating these trips for others and actually?" selling it as a travel consultant.
Mhm.
And I was like, I don't know. Why am I not doing that? And it's funny because my husband had said that to me before, but what does he know? So I was just like, when she said it, that's when it meant
You know.
something. So I was like, that's pretty cool. So she was working with a travel agency based in Ohio, and she told them about me, and I joined. And that's where I got my roots. Like I started working under them for a few years. Um,
Wow.
as great as they were loving, awesome people, but they were very Disney focused, and that wasn't
Mhm.
really my thing. So my husband and I, we were watching another reality show. We were watching Selling Sunset, like their real estate show, those two brothers that own their own and they,
Mhm.
grew it from the bottom up. We looked at each other like, we should do something like that. And in the midst of COVID, I left that agency. We opened our own.
Wow.
Um, and, we started with all the paperwork, but when are you really going to get to it?
Yeah.
And I ended up getting COVID. And while we were in the pandemic, I have COVID. Another layer to this, I have lupus. So they
Mhm.
were very scared, like, what's going to happen with her health?
Mhm.
So they put me in this room in our house for 14 days. And after the first few days of, feeling ill, I had 10 more days where I was like, okay, let's get a clear number. Let's get
Mhm.
the vendors going. And by the time I came out of that room, we had a business.
You had a business. That is the coolest thing I've read.
Yeah, we had a business. So it
The
was so
silver
crazy.
lining.
So crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How was it starting a business in the midst of COVID? I mean, and you had it too, which is wild. I'm like, how did you have the energy? But, were processes longer because it was during COVID times?
You know what? I think it was perfect timing,
Mm.
even though it sounds crazy,
Mhm.
because when you're starting a business, you need that gap time to figure everything out.
Mhm.
So business was coming in slow enough where we could get everything going, because it was still COVID, but fast enough where we could see the potential.
We started our podcast January 2020, so before COVID put us in lockdown. And so there was a moment where at the early stages of lockdown, we were like, what do we do? How are we going to have a travel podcast now? Wow. But we pivoted and we figured it out. And 5 years in, we're still here.
Still here.
So how did you pivot? Because I've been watching, like I've been binging you guys. So
oh my god! Well, so you've seen the development of everything.
Yeah. This is awesome.
Well, you saw when we used to share one mic.
Well, I didn't see the visual side. I listened to all the audio.
Well, you can hear it too. You can hear the development as well. You go to like episode 3 versus episode 100, you know.
I think you guys are awesome. Like it's just so natural. I know that you're here to talk to me, but I just want to ask you guys a question.
Sweet.
How many years like were you both friends before this?
Oh my god.
Oh, since what is it, 2006, basically.
06, 07?
Yeah. Around that time. So we've been friends for a long time. And to me, Leah has always been the adventurer, the traveler, even though she said she started traveling, what was it, after college or something?
Yeah.
But I don't know why during college, I always felt like she was a traveler.
Oh my gosh. And all we did was go to Vegas in college. That was me and Trizzy in college.
But you were going somewhere because college days were rough to go anywhere.
Yeah, they were. Sure, I don't know how we made it. We'd stuff 14 people in a Venetian room. I hope Venetian never hears this, but that's how we would make it cheap. That's how we traveled to Vegas. But yeah, so by the time we had started, we were, had been friends for 12, 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wild. Yeah.
Well, the chemistry is evident. So
thank you.
Glad to hear.
You've been traveling for 20 years. Oh, yeah. And you said, is that more on the professional side or is that mixed in with like the leisure and professional side?
So I grew up with like parents who were travelers. So I just thought it was like natural, like not until I got into like the college and that age where I realized like, oh, there are a lot of people who haven't seen the world. So my parents took us everywhere, and then when I got out of college and you have no money, like we were still doing the staycations around and exploring our state, because it's just, I mean, you ladies know, it's just like you look forward to those trips, and even if it's 3 hours away, it's just like a getaway from life.
100%.
Yeah. I love how you said that, because one of the main things that we talked about earlier on in our podcast was you don't have to travel far for it to be considered traveling. Staycations, even daycations too. You take a day trip. For me, Solvang, which is kind of like a German town. Oh, you've been there. Okay, so you know all about it. Yeah. And it's just like, oh my gosh, I'm in Germany or something, or like in Denmark. It just takes you away. And I think a lot of people need to understand that 30 minutes is fine to get away. An hour is fine to get away. Just a getaway is a getaway.
Yeah.
So true.
And for a lot of people, that's all they can do, whether it's limited financial resources, limited time, any other barriers. And I don't want to call everything a barrier, but if their lifestyle doesn't allow for international travel, or their life, there's so many different reasons. So we like to celebrate all facets of it.
And with you ladies in California and me in Florida, like we are so blessed to like be so close. I'm so close to the Caribbean. You guys have like Vegas, Hawaii, Seattle, like Alaska. There's so much around us.
Yeah. Trizzy's from Seattle.
I am. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like Seattle's like such an underrated location.
You know what? I agree. I now agree, because when I was younger, I would not have agreed.
I mean, she left for college and never went back, Lisa. To move back now there, she goes back all the time. But.
I do go back all the time. My family's still there. And every time I do go back, I try and visit a place where I didn't visit when I was younger. Like recently, I went to Bainbridge Island, which is a ferry across the Puget Sound. And it's not even far from where my family lives, but it's taking me 30 years to realize I should go to Bainbridge Island.
Wow. Yeah, it's so cool. Like the market,
Yeah.
and you got to have them throw the fish and you catch it. Like, I love it.
Do do people really wait and they catch the fish
I
like
did that. They go cheap, cheap,
customers?
Lisa. Oh, Lisa. And I'm like, yeah, you
Do you
catch
get it
it.
for free if you catch
You're
it?
supposed to tip them after, so you should,
Okay.
know.
Oh my god, but can they like chop you up a poke bowl right then and
Oh
there?
no,
Because
they
that would
won't.
be
You have to give the fish
oh.
back.
Oh,
You're just catching
I
it. It's
thought
all
you
for
like
fun.
get it. They're like if you catch it, it's free.
No, no.
Like a bouquet toss, you know? This is Trizzy's worst nightmare, by the way.
Talking about Seattle?
No, seafood and fish
Oh,
in
okay.
my face like that.
Oh,
Yeah. You must be the lucky one, Lisa, because all I know is that they throw the fish like right past a person's head rather than catching it. So you're the
really?
first that I've heard that has gotten to catch it.
Well, I'm now that I have your email address, tomorrow I'm gonna send you my video of me catching.
Yes.
I love it.
Please,
Can we
is it
put it
okay? Yeah, can we
we'll
put
put
it
it
in
on the
the
pod? Can we
episode?
put it on the
Yeah, that'll be
episode?
fun. That'll be awesome.
Love it.
I
Perfect,
love
perfect.
Oh, amazing. So when you plan travels for others, Lisa, you specialize in the Caribbean and Latin America?
Yeah, so our team, we have a team, so we can help anyone across the globe. And we have a
Mm-hmm.
company right now of about 15 people. So
Wow.
if I can't do it, someone on our team can help. If someone on our team hasn't been there, we have what we call like DMCs who are on
Yeah.
location. They're helping us to create these adventures. But the Caribbean is just like my
Yeah.
globe.
It's your
Love it.
backyard, you
Yes,
know? Yep.
exactly. And it's so funny because you guys said when we couldn't travel, like in the early, when we're in our 20s, all we did was cruise at first because
Wow.
that was like the cruise port is 30 minutes away. You
Mhm.
leave on Thursday, get back by Sunday. It was just the most cost effective way to travel.
Amazing. That's like our Vegas, like what we did.
Yeah.
We just go to Vegas like and do that. But going cruising, that sounds so cool.
Do you have specific cruises that you plan for as well?
Yeah, so we do land and cruising. For
Oh,
cruises,
nice.
we do like moderate level if it's like the Royal Caribbean, Norwegian. We do luxury, like even the Silver Seas regions, celebrity. So whatever your preference is, it's really what the client is looking for.
Mhm.
And a lot of people don't like cruising, and it's just because they haven't been on the right cruise.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I love cruising. I feel
Yeah, I
like
feel
you
like
get the
that's
most bang
recent
for your
love
buck.
for you, Trizzy, right? Like it
I've
changed in the
so
past 2
the
years.
yeah, the very first time I went on a cruise was to Bahamas, and this was back in 2013,
Hmm.
and I loved it then, but I had a lot of like seasickness. So throughout the years, my motion sick has gotten better. And then last time I was on a cruise was a Disney cruise, and I was great. I didn't feel
Right.
like I had to throw up or anything, and I was like, "Oh, I could do this all the time now."
Mhm.
Getting a little too confident, but we'll see. We'll see in May when I go back to the Bahamas and do another
Nice.
Bahama cruise.
Which cruise line are you doing then?
MSC.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you're trying a little bit of everything.
Yeah, definitely,
Oh wait,
definitely.
because that's with like your fam, right?
Yeah, with my
Yeah.
family.
I
Yeah.
think my parents go on that one too when they're like in Europe or something, right? Yeah, I think so.
I
Yeah,
think
it's a
they're yeah.
European cruise. It's very different than American cruises.
Oh, how
Oh.
so?
Just like the food, the experience,
Okay.
it's more European style. So you're gonna notice the difference.
Wow, okay.
I've only been on a Alaskan cruise with I think Holland America.
Mm.
So my
Yeah.
cruising is and I take a lot of boat tours when I'm in different countries, like multi-day boat tours even, but they're not cruises by by any means.
But Holland America is known for Alaska.
Oh, okay. That
That's their
wow.
niche. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Holland
So
America, that's
and
random.
Holland America is geared towards an older crowd.
Yeah,
So I
my
would,
grandparents took us.
yeah.
My grandparents, it was a free trip
Yeah.
to Alaska, and I was 21 and my sisters were 19 and 17. And I'm like,
Right.
listen, this is going to be one of the last all expenses paid trip.
Right?
that anyone is going to get for us, so we all need to go.
Right, right. And your grandparents were there.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I know. They were so sweet. I was like, oh, yeah. But that's interesting. I didn't know that they were, known for Alaska.
Oh, yeah. Because
Huh.
the ships are smaller, so they can go into the little areas better.
That makes sense.
Wow.
Okay,
I
okay.
know I need to get on another one. I'm going to come to you for advice, Lisa, or read your blog. I'm looking at
Yeah,
your blog
just
right now.
we can definitely talk about it and then get you on a cruise that matches what your preferences are now.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
cool.
sure.
So you take clients information on what they want, what they're looking for in the trip, and then you kind of just customize a plan for them.
Absolutely. Like based on listening to your blog, there's like already cruises that I'm like, I would love to see Trizzy and Leah on this cruise line. Yeah. So I think that we could definitely, even if it's not through the blog, it's just for your own leisure, try something that you've never done before.
That's
Mm,
super cool. I
I
love
love
Yeah.
that.
that.
Okay. So, why else would you recommend people to go with travel agencies rather than booking it themselves?
Mm.
Great question. It's really about the experience. So, for instance, and I'll give you like a quick example. We did a birthday trip. It was last September for a group that went to Costa Rica. And they had an amazing time through our travel agency. They got on the plane and she told me that she turned to the person beside her, which she didn't know, and she said, "How was your time in Costa Rica?" And the lady said, "I hated it. I'm never coming back. The hotel was bad, the food was bad. She went, and my client was just like, "What do you mean? This has been the best time ever." And it's because the person she was sitting with, she just booked something online or she
Hmm.
just randomly selected something based on pictures. And that group that I prepared that trip for, they had an experience. They told me what they were looking for. They wanted like a sisterhood connection. They had the right hotel with amazing
Oh.
food. Everything was curated for them. And even the excursions fit their needs. And we had like the mountain walks and we made sure they got to do, something every day, but not too much to overwhelm them. And
Yeah.
it was just, we create experiences as opposed to selecting or checking off a hotel name.
Love
Wow.
that.
And when you build out itineraries, you can go as detailed or as little detailed as the client wants, correct?
Exactly.
So if
Ex-
they're like, "Hey, we want to go to a coffee," this is what I would do. I'd be like, "I want to go to coffee shops like at least twice a day, and then
Mhm.
pick our dinner locations and breakfast locations too." So you could like give recommendations for those as well.
Exactly. And some people,
Um,
they want, they just want a list. And other people say, I
mm-hmm.
want to have it like timed by
Oh my
1
gosh.
o'clock and 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock.
That would
And
be
it's really,
me.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's up to the client.
Oh.
Oh, a lot of flexibility.
Yes,
Mhm.
for sure.
Okay.
Because
Awesome.
everyone's a different traveler.
Travel is very
Personal.
personal, right?
Yes.
Everyone wants something different. Have you had to deal with like outrageous requests, Lisa, or some that like, have you heard the stories of like, I want to picture people checking into a hotel. They're like, I would like 5 framed photos of Nicolas Cage waiting for me. You know?
Do they want only red M&Ms in their room?
Yeah. I'm like, wait, this isn't like a Grammys appearance. Like this isn't a talk show appearance.
Well, you know what? There's only so much I can do. So I can't
Mhm.
do like red M&Ms or things like that. But the concierge at the hotel, they are amazing, especially at the higher end hotels. So they will work with you to really make their wildest dreams come true, for sure.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So those are the people to be connected with and stay connected with.
Uh, of course, absolutely. And then the thing is that even though there's a million hotels, you
Mhm.
always have your top 10 in each country. So you start to get to know the group coordinators or the concierge there. And it's like a friendly basis. So we can pull strings that a regular person wouldn't know who to reach out to and who to talk to
Mhm.
about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Were there any like schooling or education certification courses that you had to take in order to become a travel agent in an agency?
I love this. So technically, you don't need to go through any courses to be a travel agent. You can just, go under a host agency and they'll say, "Oh, you're a travel agent." And that is why I think so many people either have a bad experience with a travel agent or they become a travel agent and they quickly leave because they feel overwhelmed, they don't feel confident. So,
Mm-hmm.
what we do at our travel agency is we actually have a program. It's for 3 months, and we don't allow any of our travel agents to work on their own until they've gone through their program. So, the first 30 days, they go through just like the foundation, like, what are the vendors that we use? How do I work the portals? What is being a travel agent? All that good stuff. And then the second set of 30 days, we go into how do I present myself online and emailing and marketing and all the presentation side because everything's about presentation. And in the
Mm-hmm.
last 30 days we are actually giving them leads and we're going through the whole process we taught them with us on each email and each call so that they can continue to get practice so that by that 90-day mark they should be prepared to say, okay, I can do this on my own, but
Yeah,
still, I'll hold your hand if I need to. So,
that's
and so
incredible.
many agencies aren't doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And we've actually have agents that come to our company and they say, hey, can I join your company and actually learn? Because I kind of was thrown into the fire
Mm-hmm.
and I can't really float right now. I'm just like drowning over there. And now they're really successful.
Yeah, that's incredible. It sounds like a really robust training program.
Yeah, yeah, it's twice a
Um,
week, and it's an hour and a half each night, and they're like, reviewing everything until the next week, and they're doing great.
That's awesome. How often are you looking for more travel agents to be under your wing?
So right now we call it the wave season where travel
Okay.
is really busy. So because it's the new year, everyone's looking to figure
yeah.
out their trips. So we can't do it now, but I would say we do 2 or 3 sessions. Maybe like by May, we'll do another onboarding session. And then again by August or September, we'll do another one. Um, because we want to grow, but we just definitely want quality instead of just
Definitely.
bringing in everyone.
Do you have a place that you keep returning to?
Well,
Just personal
okay,
preference.
I am a little biased because my parents are Jamaican.
Mm.
I tend to go there a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I will say this. It's definitely on the top of the list because of the culture, the food,
Yeah.
familiarity. But there's so many other islands. Like I really want everyone to go to St. Lucia because,
Ooh.
like, I'm telling you, it's like jaw dropping, like eyes bulging. You're just gonna be so amazed if you haven't been there yet. Have you guys been?
Have not.
No,
So
not
St.
yet.
Lucia, St. Lucia is the Hawaii of the Caribbean. So
Mm.
for the East Coast
Wow.
people who don't want to go all the way to Hawaii or can't go, you go to St. Lucia, you have the pitons, which are their like inactive volcanoes, and they're covered in like lush green like grass
Mm.
and all this shrubbery, and it's just so beautiful. And when you're doing a catamaran in the water and you're looking at this topography, it's just like ah. Like you feel like you're a little mermaid. It's just so beautiful. The people are great. The food is awesome, and they just have. It's just really chic. We're after the cruise.
wow.
We're gonna get you guys to St. Lucia.
We got to go to St. Lucia. I mean, the
Yeah,
words that you speak of it is so convincing. I'm sold.
absolutely. I remember I had a friend of a friend that did their honeymoon, that had their honeymoon there. And that
Yeah,
was really the only people I've ever known to head to St. Lucia, to be honest.
yeah.
So,
Now most people they go to Jamaica,
mhm.
Mexico, and the Dominican Republic for the Caribbean. But I do like this trend where people are expanding their wings. It does cost a little bit more for your flight and for your stay, but the St. Lucia, Grenada, Antigua, those are such beautiful islands. The smaller islands are becoming more popular, but St. Lucia, Grenada, and Antigua are really doing well because they have the all-inclusive properties. And when people,
Yeah.
are not always, they're not familiar with the country, they want to be like, okay, if I want to leave, I can, but if I don't, I have my food here and I can stay. So, but these islands are so gorgeous. I hope they leave the resort.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
When when me and my partner first started dating, we frequented a lot like the Caribbean area. So, like I said, Bahamas was first, and then we went to Punta Cana,
Yeah,
and then we went to Jamaica. Loved,
Yeah.
loved Jamaica.
yeah.
And then we stopped because we started going over, we got a little bit further to like Asia and Europe and on that side. But now I told myself in 2025, I want to return back to the Caribbeans because I just love that area.
Yeah.
And for my birthday every year, I always check prices for Turks and Caicos. And it's always so
Really? Every
expensive
year?
every year. And I'm like, it's too
I'm not
expensive.
surprised. It's
Yeah,
so expensive.
Isn't it
So
off season though in July?
that's what I thought.
it's still
That's what
expensive.
I thought. That's what I
um,
thought.
so tell me this: why do you want to go to Turks and Caicos?
Just another part of the Caribbeans that I've seen the crystal blue water and just like relaxation and beauty, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're going for the right reasons. You won't have like a lot to do, but you're going to
Hmm.
have beautiful water, a great view, great food, but
Hmm.
lots of money.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Maybe for my 40th birthday or something. I don't know.
So
We'll
would you
see.
say on the other islands, St. Lucia, the other islands, how do they compare in pricing, like getting there and the money that you're spending while you're there? Because maybe we can find another island for Trizzy
Yeah,
to aim for on her birthday.
the other islands are a lot more cost effective.
Okay.
Yeah.
From Los Angeles?
Los Angeles is going to be, more because you're coming from so far, but just in general, Turks and Caicos is just more, it's just pricey. And they really, they import everything. So because of
Oh, okay.
that, the cost goes up for everything there. Yeah.
I see. Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm always down to check out Antigua and St. Lucia. So,
Oh yeah, for
yeah.
sure. And Aruba is getting all inclusive resorts
I've
now.
heard.
Oh,
I've
Yes.
heard. And it's easy to drive around Aruba
okay.
too, like rent a car and drive around. I had all these plans of heading to the Caribbean this year, and then I started a new job, and I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, I have to buy a new car. I know that sounds so boring, but I was like, oh, I guess I'm not going anywhere after June.
I know.
I
Don't
have
you
all
think
this travel planned, but
when work gets in the way of travel?
I know. But you know what, Lisa, I'm blessed, and like Trizzy's the same. We both work full time and more. you
Mhm.
know, podcast, YouTube channel, everything. But we travel a lot and we're very,
That's
very
great.
blessed. So I'm like, you know what, Leah, you have enough content so that it'll look like you're gone for the 6 months that you're at home, but you won't be, like
Great.
at 6 months of not traveling, like that's gonna go by so fast.
It
and I'm
will.
I'm packing it in the next 3 months are gonna be actually insane. Like I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I have to. So I think I might even be burnt out, if you will, by the time June comes around. Be like, you know what? I'm glad to be home in LA.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you ever get that travel burnout?
If we're doing lots of group trips, because I'm not on vacation on the group trip, but
Right.
so like I'm still, I'm so concerned about everybody else. So as long as and I never want travel to ever seem like work, I still want
Right.
it to be fun. So I do need to have my own trip where it's just my husband and me, or just family, where I can just say, I just
Yeah.
relax and not worry about anything.
Kick back and maybe not even have to do a ton of research, just relax and
Right.
enjoy.
Oh, I've had those where I just lay by the beach the entire time.
Can you speak on Belize a little bit? Why are they so expensive too?
Yeah, I think we've both been trying to go for a while, and then
Yeah.
every time we're like, let's go to a different country because it's more affordable.
Yeah, you know what? I think that whenever you know, Belize is, I don't want to say behind, but they are behind the Mexicos, Jamaicas, and Dominican
Mm,
Republic in regard to tourism. So I think that like as they populate more with more hotels and things like that, I think it's almost like Vegas. Like you have so many hotels in Vegas that you have to stay at a certain range to compete. So I think Belize is they don't have enough to have to lower their prices yet. And even when I
Mm,
went to Belize, there's a huge gap between the rich and the poor, and
mm,
there's so much poverty there. So I do think that with time, hopefully that gap closes, they'll get more hotels, and then
mhm.
that's going to level out. Yeah, but it's a cool
interesting.
place to visit for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
I've heard it's specifically special for divers, but
Mm.
I'm a failed diver. I tried to start my PADI cert open water cert, and I took myself out of the class in the Philippines. But what else is there to do there if you're not a diver?
No, of course. So they do have beautiful beaches. The food is definitely unique. They have something they call the royal rat that's there. And I was just like, okay. They said it's royal because I think one of the princesses from Europe came and had it. And I was like, that's interesting.
Oh, to eat. It's a
Yeah.
dish.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So
Oof.
I remember we went on an excursion there and they were telling the stories about the royal rat and then like they served us food. And I was like, ah, and they're like, it's not royal rat, and I was still like, ah. So, but it's really a beautiful. It has so much beauty there. I would say more just like it's more of the beach, the culture, the food is worth going, and they've been opening some all inclusives over there in Belize, like the Margaritaville is out
Ooh.
there now.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah,
Obviously, we have been complaining about how some islands are very expensive. Do you have any tips on kind of just figuring out a way to budget
for
when
sure.
going to just anywhere?
Absolutely. Like for instance, Costa Rica, if you go during we call it the rainy season,
Mhm.
but if you're going in that, you know, July to September period, that is the rainy season, the hotels are half the cost.
That's
Ooh.
crazy.
So yeah,
Half.
and because the temperature is changing over time,
Mhm.
it's not as rainy as it used to be 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So sometimes I have groups that go during that time and they're like,
Mhm.
it didn't rain at all or only rained in the afternoon. And so they're so excited about that because at least they went in with the expectation of knowing it is the
Mhm.
rainy season. So if it only rained for 3 hours, they're like, we won.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that is changing. So definitely going during season is
Mhm.
great. Um, you know, staying away from the holiday times would be
Mhm.
awesome to get those great deals. And sometimes we can even get you last minute deals,
Hmm.
yeah.
Ooh.
So if you're flexible, that helps a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then another thing that our company does is that because we do so many group trips, we actually lock in rates a year before or a year and a
Wow.
half before time. So when if someone comes in and they're like, "Hey, I want to go on that group trip," even though I don't know any of those people, I just want to take advantage of the price. They're like, why is this trip hundreds and hundreds of dollars less than what's online? It's like, oh, we locked that in last year. So that our price stayed the same. And then the online prices kept going up.
Wow.
Wow.
Do you
Great tip.
usually need to have a minimum? These are group trips that like anyone can join, correct?
Right.
Do you have a
Exactly.
minimum that needs to go minimum number of people in order for the trip to be on?
That's a great question. So, any of our group trips that are private, we ask the guests, do you mind if we make this public on our webpage? You'll
Oh,
never see
uh-huh.
this person, but they
Okay.
can take advantage of your rate. And if
Interesting.
if you get enough people, maybe it'll help you with a perk, something like that.
Mhm.
And they'll say, sure, like no one ever turns it down. It's not going to
Yeah.
affect them. So they'll say sure. So someone's going in on this St. Lucia or this Jamaica trip, and it's like it was somebody's wedding group, but they're just getting that rate.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Like a wedding block almost?
Yeah, or if it's like a leisure group, it's because it's under our company and they're our client too, they can take advantage of it.
That's incredible.
Yeah. That's genius.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody wins in that situation,
Right.
honestly.
I know, I was just looking at the exclusive deals on your site.
Oh yeah, please take a look at them.
I know. Oh my gosh, makes me want to travel after June. Might have to book a trip. Might get slapped. But I might have to.
Wow, it was so hard to convince you.
I
know. So should we jump into the T2A-Q2A now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so Lisa, the T2A-Q2A is a ticket to anywhere quick to answer segment. We're going to ask you a few questions, very harmless, and you just hit us back with a quick answer. Okay. Do you have any rituals or routines when you land in a new city or a new country?
As soon as I land, I say thank God. Like I say a little like one-liner prayer to God. And then I'm 42, guys, but I still text my mom, I just landed.
Oh, we all do. No, I love that. I love that.
I love it. Communication is key.
Yeah, yes. That's so sweet. I've seen this trend on like, TikTok, but I do too. Yeah. Mainly because I actually don't have a partner to text. So I'm like, well, mom and sister it is.
Yeah, those are your BFFs.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Sure. Okay, what is one sustainable product that you use or recommend, whether it's travel or non-travel related? Or maybe like a sustainable or eco-friendly practice that you do?
It's very tempting when you're in a hotel to act differently than you act at home. Because in a hotel, you just want to like throw your towel down like every second. And I try my best to like fold it up and put it back on, and just to help them save the water, the towels. Because if we all become the hotel diva, we're like, next, so I try to be eco-friendly that way with the towels for sure.
Definitely. I love that. Same here. I do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just old habits die hard. Like that's what I do at home. I don't use 5 towels a day. So it's like I couldn't imagine. Yeah. There are some trips where I'm like, they're, not that long, end up using the same set of towels the whole time. Because it's like, why change? It's only 4 days, 3 days, 4 days, whatever, So yeah.
Okay. All right. What's one thing you could eat for the rest of your life?
Oh,
Miss Food Blogger. Yeah, in a past life.
That is so surprisingly, because some people think I'm gonna say Jamaican food. I am such a taco girl. I love a good taco. So and tacos have so many variations. We can do like a different variation every day of the week.
What filling? If you could pick one filling, what would you pick?
I love like the steak taco. Ooh. And I can eat it anyway, like, just basic or put the American style. You guys are getting me hungry right now.
I know.
It is lunchtime over here. Yeah. So I mean, dinner time.
Yeah. For sure. That's amazing. I was hoping you'd say tacos. I was like, I love a good taco.
Yeah, you got to come down to LA. You got some good tacos here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know I should. Well, we have to turn this around, guys. What would you guys pick?
Mine would be like Thai food, but if I had to pick one dish, it would be pad ki mao, which is like the drunken noodle, like the spicy version of pad see ew.
Really? I don't think I've had that before.
Oh, girl, you gotta go to your Thai restaurant, nearest Thai restaurant.
Okay. Challenge accepted. Okay. All right. And what's yours, Leah?
I'd probably say fish tacos, to be honest. That's my favorite taco. Yeah. I'm pescatarian, so I don't eat like the meat tacos, but a fish taco. Oof. And I've done it before. I've been, in Mexico, I would eat it like 2-3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I don't get sick of it. All right. Last question. Where's your next trip?
So in 2 weeks, I am going to Napa Valley.
Wait, are we going to be there at the same time? Because I'm going to be in Napa in a few weeks.
Are you?
From the 3rd to the 5th of March is when I'm going.
I am going at the end of February, and I'm leaving on the 2nd.
Ah, you're like,
darn.
I know Leah's getting there on this 3rd, so I'm just going to bounce before that.
No, I'm leaving on the 2nd. I wish I could have seen you.
How exciting, though. I've never been. Have you?
So no, we've done wine tours through California, but never stayed in Napa.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, so I'm excited. And then the travel consultant in me, I'm splitting my stay. I'm staying at one hotel for the first part, going to another so I can tell our clients about it. And I'm so excited. Have you guys been to
Be
Napa?
incredible.
I have. It was for my cousin's bachelorette party, and I'm not even like a big wine drinker, so it was kind of like not worth it for me, but it was for my cousin.
Right. Yeah. Well, my husband likes to drink wine, so
yeah,
we're gonna do it like the real tourist style. We're gonna do the wine train, and we're gonna visit. Yes.
I'm so excited for you. I'm actually going for work. So
oh, that's nice.
I mean, well, we're having a retreat and it's in Napa, so it's not necessarily wine focused. Like we will be drinking wine,
okay,
but a lot of the time will be consumed doing work thing. Like it's a retreat, so we're like doing learning activities, icebreaker, that type of stuff.
Right.
So
but you have the beauty of Napa there.
I know, I'm so excited, and we're Trizzy and I are both content creators, so it's like, oh, you can bet in my non-working hours I will be capturing everything and being and everywhere. So I'm really excited. Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, we're missing each other by one day.
I know, I can't believe it. Stars
crazy.
didn't align for that. Well, Lisa, let everyone know where they can find you, because we definitely want people to know about your fantastic travel agency and Pause Voyages too, which we didn't get to talk much about, but I'm sure they can find it out through your channels.
Or we'll just bring you back on to talk about it separately.
Well, thank you, ladies. I had so much fun tonight. So you can find us at I Can't Wait to Travel. That is on our website, ican'twaittotravel.com, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. My name is Lisa. If I can't help you, we have many amazing travel consultants that can. And if you're traveling with your puppy, you can go to pawvoyages.com and go on a trip and find out how to do that the best way possible. So thank you so much for having me, ladies.
Oh, thank you for joining us. This was awesome. This is a great way to end our Thursday. So I appreciate you, Lisa. And thank you all for listening in on the Ticket to Anywhere podcast. Until next episode. To find even more travel tips on budgeting, destinations, and our favorite items, sign up for our monthly newsletter, The Check-In, linked in the show notes or description.